Welcome everybody. 1991-92 Kayo's baby. I'm really excited about opening this one. I'm going to jump right in. It says look for special holograms and autographs also in this box. Man, does this bring back some memories. What an era, right? We're looking for Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard. We're looking for Tyson, if he's even in here. Looking for some greats. These cards are starting to go for big money right now on eBay. So I picked up this box, the full box, for about $100. I think it was $120 with delivery and everything to my door. I am right now in April of 2021. I bought these about a month and a half ago. I've just been waiting to open them with working and so forth. So right off the cuff, Roy Jones Jr. Huge card to get. This in a great condition. He's going for some nice cheese right now. We're going to penny him up. Got my top loaders here. Beautiful card. He was an artist, this guy, huh? He's one of those that maybe he just went a little too long. But he was just absolutely dominant. Beautiful cards, these KOs. I'm over some big stuff here. Biggs. Virgil Hill. I'm going to kind of try to get through these quick. There's a lot of packs. My last full box opening video, I think, went about an hour. So I'm going to try to do a little better by you guys. Julio Cesar Chavez. Big time boxer. Great coloring. Great edges. Temper your expectations, you guys. When you buy these old kind of boxes, you never know what these suckers have been through before it got to your doorstep, right? You're talking 30, 40 years, some of these boxes you're opening up. So when you see good centering, good coloring, good edges on a card, be blessed. Absolutely beautiful. Julio Cesar Chavez and Roy Jones in the first pack. Some of them can be pretty hard to open. Some of them can be stuck together, as I've kind of learned through time. We got Joe Louis. Beautiful card. All-time great. He sure was. And is. Boxing kind of went through a spell with no big names there for a while, right? When I was growing up, the heavyweight division was absolutely dominated by Mike Tyson, Kid Dynamite. And they had some other pretty cool ones. Evander Holyfield. Foreman was about 100 years old, still knocking people out. Michael Moore. There's some pretty good heavyweights. I'll do a nice recap. We're going to go through what we got at the end here. I know there's a Michael Buffer card actually going for pretty good money in this box right now. In good condition. Lennox Lewis. Talk about another heavyweight that was just absolutely murking people in my era. That's a beautiful Lennox Lewis card. Looking pretty ferocious there. 6'5". He had the nice calm demeanor. Very well spoken. Heavyweight. Beautiful card. Knock that down in the top loader a little more. We're going to keep going. I'm going to try to burn through a little bit as we have so many packs. There's 14 cards per pack, 36 packs total. That's a lot of cards to get through here. But for $100 for this box, for what these cards are going through in PSA Mint, 9s and 10s right now, absolutely worth the value I'm already seeing. Now keep in mind, I haven't hit auto or a hologram or something special. Here we go. Joe Frazier. Here we go. These are the kind of cards we like to see. A lot of people are coming into the hobby right now. A lot of old schoolers. A lot of people are using, I'm 42 years old, so they're using these as tools to kind of teach the younger generations about the greats of their era and eras of past. James Buster Douglas, one of the greatest upsets ever. Here's a nice little kind of insert card. You can tell by the TKO and the special banding. Battle of the Ages. Holyfield and Foreman go the distance. We're going to go ahead and sleeve that up, set aside. I'm not going to top load. I'm just going to penny, and I'll come back and top load later as I'm realizing there's going to be a lot probably to pull out of here. Now this guy, Bert Sugar, he was on a few shows in ESPN and I used to watch back in the day. This is back when beat writing was beat writing, right? You had to go to arena by bus. This is old school right here. That's a true sports writer before everything was just online, going live, cell phones in your hand. You would learn and know about the gravity of a boxing match and what really truly took place and the buzz of the crowd from writings from people like Bert. We're definitely going to submit that one. Most of the 9s, or most of the 10s, excuse me, that come, I almost always save and they go into my PC. Of any set I open up. Floyd Patterson. Absolute great of the game, as it says, all-time great. John Molina. Juan Laporte. Calvin Grove, obviously, is a belt winner. I'm not really too familiar with him, so we're going to keep rolling. 6 shooters. Kind of a funky little card, right? These 3 amigos. Hector Camacho, Pernell Whitaker, spice it up. We know 2 of those are big names. Sweet Pea Whitaker. That's kind of a fun card. I already bought the box. I figure I'm only 20 more bucks into this card to submit it now. PSA raised their prices about 20 bucks a card. I'm going to look at it right here. It looks way off-centered to me. Left or right. So to me, that's not a submission. If it was Muhammad Ali in a hologram or something like that, I wouldn't care. I'll take an 8 in that. This is a beautiful one. Emmanuel Stewart, I know he worked with Lennox Lewis, a lot of the greats. Again, $20 more for an Emmanuel Stewart, maybe PSA 10, I'll take it. And then I'll go into PC. Very fun. What a great set and the memories. This brings me back to that era. The Ken Griffey Jr., Tiger Woods. I think it was 12 years old, knocking everyone out. Look at this beautiful card. The artwork on it. Joe Louis, Otis, Leroy Neiman. Oh, that's the artist that did it, of course. I love the artwork done. Beautiful card. I'd like to see that in a PSA slab. And that's just what we're going to do. Sometimes if you think things are beautiful, guys, just submit them. Roberto Duran, Boxing Legends. Look at that super middleweight. Nice action shot. This guy was a soldier right here. I think he had like 7,000 wins or something. I think he just beat up about everybody he ever met. Jack Johnson, all-time great. I love to get cards I like to look at slabbed, because I like to handle them. I like to look at them. I feel so much safer, of course, in a slab. And I can really enjoy my cards and go through them in groups. And it gives me some memories. I'm going to remember this video. Obviously, it's going to be on YouTube forever. Now, here's what's interesting. I grew up in Davenport, Iowa, and that's where Michael Nunn grew up. I am going to attempt, possibly, to get this card autographed here and then submit it. And if I can get it back autographed in a 10 condition autograph and a PSA 10, that'll be personal PC for ever, as he was one heck of a fighter. James Stoney was a bad man too. There are a lot of athletes getting into sports card collecting right now. It's a great stock to have, right? It seems like we're on an upward trend right now of just about everything is going up. So many new collectors coming in. So many people realizing you could buy high-end cards, PSA 9, PSA 10, and the value is just increasing. Now, the pop numbers will go up, but there's so many people that are entering the hobby right now that may want that card. Like this card, for instance, right here, George Foreman. Heavyweight. Look at old Big Self with that giant arm. Let's just say there are a million Foreman fans. A million people out there say, you know what, George Foreman, and I'm sure there's more than that, is a hell of a fighter. Now, if I submit that and I get back a PSA 10 and that pops 100 of those, let's just say, it's supply versus demand, right? There's only 100 PSA 10s in the world and a million people who may want that card in a PSA 10 form. Al Bernstein, what a classic voice. What a classic voice. Love that guy. Jack Dempsey. That's definitely an all-time great. Beautiful cards. Beautiful. We haven't found a hologram or an auto. That'll be fun if we cross that line. To me, these boxes more than pay for themselves. I'm going to get I'm sure a huge chunk of PSA 9s back if I submit all the ones I plan on submitting. And I'm going to sell the 9s and keep the 10s. And if I could just make enough profit. So this is beautiful. This is a double. I've probably already seen this pack. This is Joe Frazier. This is a perfect example. If a PSA 10 were to sell for, let's say, $300, that stays in my PC for all of time. And I'm going to submit another one of the same card. If it came back a 9, I could sell it for, let's say, 50 to 100 bucks. I still make a little profit on it. And then I've paid for, like this one, half the box. This is also pretty poorly centered left to right. As you see, this has much more blue than this side. You're already knocking yourself down pretty well. That I'm not going to submit and spend the money. We've already seen back-to-backs. I'm going to submit just the one Burt Sugar, as the other one looked pretty flawless. You know what, I'll submit one more. I won't submit a third or a fourth if we pull them out of here. I just wanted one nice one for my PC. Maybe I could put it with a lot of old school, all-time great boxing personalities, writers. Like a Rocky Marciano would also be great. Tim Witherspoon had a run. Tommy Morrison, Tommy the Gun. This is definitely a rising star card. Kind of like your rated rookie in a way of a normal sport, if you will. Very cool. Very cool. Just for his Rocky movie, everything he did for the sport, and that he's passed away. Ken Norton Sr., all-time great. Look at that. I mean, you talk about just raw. This dude was just raw freaking power. About a quarter way through the box. I'm going to just keep trying to burn. Now, PSA just suspended services till July of 21 at the most to catch up. Everyone is submitting to PSA. For one, they love the slabs that they're in. They love that they're able to handle and look at their cards and display them and all the perks, plus the value of knowing exactly how a card grades forever in that slab and the resellability. But you don't concentrate so much on the, don't downplay that significance, is what I'm trying to say. Who is Sweet Pea? Pernell Whitaker. Champion branding there. Very cool. Lightweight champion. Has many people that are in the sports card hobby, who have joined, who have always been, who have never left it, all combined, who will be coming. Believe me, your pop count will never surpass the demand there may be for that one in particular card. Here we go. That's absolutely being submitted. Cuss. The man, right? The man, the myth, the legend. The guy who started the machine. Kid Dynamite. Here's our second Foreman. Second Foreman base. Looks a little OC. Left, right again. But nice surface, nice corners, nice everything else. If that comes back a PSA 9 and the other one a 10, I'm going to keep that Foreman base. We're going to sell the 9 and we move on with our life. I like to put my PSA 8s and 9s in lots, the ones I'm not keeping. Of course, I do keep PSA 8s and 9s of some rare Jordan inserts and some things. A lot of people don't like to go through the hassle and the weight of PSA submissions. A lot of people don't like to put on gloves like this and open up all the packs and do all the dirty work, then create a submission, then wait a year for that sucker to come back even to start selling. I am willing to put in the work. I enjoy this hobby. I enjoy all this down and dirty. I like ordering things online, waiting for them to come in, open them up, handle them with care, penny insert, send them off. I love the PSA return day. Rocky Marciano. There was one of them I was looking for right there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful card. Looks great centering, great everything. This comes, if that's my only one from the box and it comes back a 9 or a 10, that's staying in the PC. That's one 9 I would most definitely keep. Making pretty good time here. Roberto Duran, Boxing Legends Super Middleweight. I know this guy's cult following is absolutely massive, so If I get 13 of these, they may all be submitted for grading. I'm just not familiar with who that is, but he's the champion, super bantamweight, steel world on his trunks. He looks a lot like Sugar Ray Leonard, who I'd love to see coming up here in some packs. Sugar Ray Leonard, if you're going to give me an auto, if you are going to give me an auto out of this box, please let it be a Tyson or a Sugar Ray Leonard or an Ali or something big time. I'd be elated. Another Michael Nunn I'm just going to set aside. James Toney. We have a champ in the house. It's too bad Michael Nunn didn't have the belt at the time of making these cards, and it had the champion brand. That would have been really fun for me. Here we go. Here was a big-time heavyweight, right? I think he'd gotten some sort of fight with somebody. Somebody got kicked in the chest. I remember at a press conference, like insanity erupted. He was in that big fight with, I think, Holyfield, and that guy parachuted in. Remember that crazy? Out of nowhere, some guy parachutes in to the ring during the fight. I think Riddick Bowe had his back to him, and Holyfield's kind of like pointing. Like, hey, stop fighting me. There's some guy parachuting in the ring. And then just security just mobbed this guy and just beat him half to death in the crowd. That was... See, I'm saying, where do you get that, right? Now, I do applaud our big heavyweights. Wilder. That fight was absolutely insane. I got that one on pay-per-view. I couldn't miss that. That's a generational fight. Two undefeated heavyweights. That kind of brought back that old nostalgia, especially being a heavyweight fight. Terry Norris, yeah, I know he had a great run. Great fighter. Quick hands. I don't know if he'd have too much pull on the sales of PSA. We all have our own, right? Like Lennox Lewis, but mine's Michael Nunn. So there may be a diehard Terry Norris fan watching this right now saying, how do you just discard it? He was the champion. Why are you discarding that and not submitting it? If so, leave me a comment down below. I will dig it out of this pile, and I'll get that sucker submitted. Another Lewis. Here we go. So... here's a perfect example of maybe a Lewis art card that I could have in my PC and then went out there for you guys to enjoy. I usually sell them with tempered expectations. I submit so much to PSA and have just so many cards available that I'm not trying to break the bank and maximize profit on every single sale. I'm more supporting you guys, especially people new to the hobby. Getting in, having some affordable cards that are slabbed, and having some fun with it. Here we are. Fighter of the Decade. Sugar Ray Leonard. Beautiful. Oh, you beautiful son of a gun. Are you going to get slabbed? This will be one of I have one massive submission that'll be going in July as soon as PSA opens the floodgates again. This will be a part of it. I have, I think, 180 Jordans to submit currently right now. Ready in my Mills Lane. What an old school ref. You're going, baby. If I know your name... This is like the Big John of the UFC, right? Mills freaking Lane. Jake LaMotta. All-time great. I didn't realize how many penny sleeves and how large the submission's going to be. I mean, this is You talk about getting your value back from one box. This has got to be it. These are just going up too. I got lucky and I got one guy who had this submitted for quite a while on eBay and nobody had snatched it up for $100, and I just brought it home immediately, just grabbed it, had it delivered. I've had it since I think January in house here, and I just haven't had time with work and everything and the kids to rip it open. I wanted to do it on camera and get a record of it. Oh, Marvelous Marvin Hagler. We all know this guy, right? Just wonderful battles with Thomas Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard. What an era. If you guys have never heard of this guy, look him up on YouTube. Watch some of the fights I just mentioned. Another Julio Cesar Chavez and Duran. Wonderful Mexican fighters that just absolute legends of the sport. Saw Sugar and got excited. Here's another legendary trainer. I'm going to go ahead and submit. Angelo Dundee. That'll be a PC'er. There are some Tyson cards going around right now that are absolutely off the charts. Now, this is kind of where I use lower valued or lower costing boxes. Like this one's $100. Let's say I get a ton of those cards that I've already pulled out and set aside are 10s, 9s. I'm going to try to sell the batch of the ones I'm not going to put in PC and use that money and buy one Tyson PSA 10 rookie. Probably have to add a little bit of extra cash with that. But I try to use these mostly to move up or add things I don't have. I did add to the PC a Muhammad Ali PSA 10 1964 stamp, which is really, really cool. And that sucker has shot up. I bought it for $50 about a year ago on a PSA 10, and you can't find one under $2,000 right now on eBay of that same stamp. Here's an Angelo Dundee. We're going to set aside. Probably submit both. Here's another good example. If I got two 10s back, one I'll put in like with Burt Sugar and some other legends, some beat writers, referees, Mills Lane, and just make a pretty cool PSA 9, PSA 10 pack for maybe $200 or something with 4 or 5 of them. I'm looking pretty off OC right there. Right to left. I already have 2 of them that look great to submit for grading. So I'm going to go ahead and skip through. Ray Mercer won some fights. Hector Macho Camacho. There's a guy I'm missing. And then backed up with the all-time great Sonny Liston. Nice 2 cards at the end of that pack. Here's where I was missing from the Duran and big time fighter right there. Sonny Liston. Mostly famous in our kind of eras. I'm 42 years old for being on the poster where Ali's knocked him out and he's screaming over the top of him. I actually have that poster framed and everything. I got it at Hobby Lobby for I think $20. before Ali had passed. Now you can't even get them. You try to get those suckers online, they're a couple $100. You guys are out there seeing good deals, man. Sometimes you just got to snatch them up and not even think twice anymore, especially with this hobby and just sports in general, the way it's going. I think COVID really hit home, and people wanted to have activities to do with their kids and educate them and talk to them, and they spent more time, which in a way, COVID was really good for that. Here's Larry Holmes with the old belt, one of the heavyweight belts. That's pretty badly off-centered, right to left. I'm not a big Larry Holmes fan because he did some things to Ali, and then Ali told Tyson to basically get him. Now, I saw this card in a PSA 10, this Roger Mayweather, going for big money. Big money, this one. So that's going submitted immediately. Larry Holmes, we're going to wait and see if we get a little more. I just never liked the guy. I think that's the one who got in a big fight and some jump kicking in a press conference, and from my memory and recollection, real prick. Here we are, baby. 2 Rays. Sugar Ray Leonard. You can never go wrong with a Sugar Ray Leonard, especially in a PSA 10. That's a frill. Here we go. Mills Lane. Here's one or 2 I've now submitted. So PSA 10 would go in mine. 2 PSA 10s. The second one will be for sale. Another Jake LaMotta. How's this one looking? Pretty damn clean. I think we just have to. If I've set one aside, why not set the other one if it's looking like a 10 right off the cuff? I'm so pleased with how nice and clean these cards look, too, coming out of the box. So many years ago, they're packaged really nice. They put some money into this. Kayo. Brand. Nice and loose. I haven't had any packed yet. Compacted to each other. Here we go. Here's a card that I saw going for big money right in the back. I'm going to slide it out. Michael Buffer. I think this was in a PSA 10 going online for $400. Something like that alone. I mean, when you spend $100 for a box. Now, that's what it was being sold for, of course. It could sit there for sale for 200 years. You temper your expectations. Here's another Emmanuel Stewart. This would be a nice one to package with the trainers and sports writers. While I'm in here doing this break for you guys, I might have to open up some more penny sleeves, it looks like, which is just fine with me. They're pretty cheap. I just got an order of 600 of them in. So we create so many submissions for PSA. Riddick Bowe. All right. The first pack, and about when we have maybe 10 more packs total. Got my second Roy Jones. Beautiful card. Sleeve up Riddick. If you guys could do me a favor, if you could subscribe to the channel, it would be super cool. I am going to start a review channel with my kids. I got a 10-year-old and 12-year-old girls, and they're going to start doing reviews that are completely unrelated, like makeup and food, just for fun. They just want to try something on YouTube. So I got a little bet with them is that I could have more likes and views than they can, and comments and subscribers. Please don't let me lose to a 12-year-old. They're already cocky enough. I mean, she's kind of a jerk anyway, so I don't then need to admit defeat. So I'm going to keep doing rips like this. Keep buying boxes. Oh, baby. Here's a different Ray Leonard. Here's a Boxing Hall of Fame. And I see Mike Tyson right there. All right, we got Mike Tyson on a card. Boxing Hall of Fame card in New York. It's immediately being sleeved up. Let me go ahead and penny sleeve this Ray Leonard, which was different. So there's an all-time great Ray Leonard. Then there's the base Ray Leonard. So he was already considered an all-time great when he was still an active fighter. Very, very, very cool. I'm excited to see that. And guys, I'm so happy to be doing these. I want to kind of chronicle this, you know. I want to see where kind of cards go. It's nice. I'm going to submit these. I'll get these videos up here pretty soon, April or May, as soon as work permits, and I can sit down and do more openings and rips and little intro videos and stuff. I want to give you guys kind of a cool product, hopefully. And just stick with me. You know, someday I'll do how I submit my PSA selections and what products I'm using. Like I'll use Ultra Pro 3x4 top loaders. I just get regular penny sleeves. We have such a surgence right now in the hobby that they've sold out of all the front loaders, man. And they're just trying to mass produce those suckers. But with COVID, such an unprecedented time right now, a lot of factories are being shut down. So someday, maybe soon, hopefully not, even the top loaders might be hard to find or sold out of. So if you guys are going to buy some, if you're going to buy some boxes like this and start ripping, if you guys haven't quite done this part of the hobby yet and you're like, you know, it'd be kind of fun, maybe I could, you know, you have your hopes and dreams of submitting 40 cards from one box and you hope they all come back PSA 10s, and if so, you'd make $6,000 a box. I mean, we all have these lofty goals and aspirations, of course. If you're going to begin this process of ripping and submitting, buy a lot of top loaders and penny sleeves. You can't have enough of them. Snatch them up now. I just did 600. There's another Hall of Fame card with Mike Tyson on it. Another Joe Louis. I mean, we are just getting absolutely wonderful all-time greats. And I love it that some of these are doubles and triples. And I can stay on course with keeping the highest grade or only keeping one of the 10s. Now, of course, if I were to submit, let's just say this Joe Louis right here, and it came back a PSA 10, and I submit 3 of them, they all come back PSA 10s, and PSA tells me that the pop report is 3 total. I could probably put 1 for sale for maybe a little more, as there's only 3 in the world, and I have the other 2. I live on the Illinois-Iowa border, so I'm just a massive Michael Jordan fan. Always have been. Oh, here's another Ray Leonard. Legends with Duran. Absolutely beautiful. I can't get too many of these to submit. Duran Leonard. Here's another art of Joe Louis. Very off-centered top to bottom. Do you see how much white border is at the top compared to the bottom? I'm not going to submit that, as I already had 2 that were beautiful, like I said earlier. Getting my stacks overflowing of non-submittals over here. A lot of cards in these kind of boxes. This is old school, right? This isn't the old $7,000 to open a box that has 1 card in it and you hope it's a good one. This is back when you got a bulk of cards, but this is where there could be a lot of profit too when these suckers come back someday, graded. You have a lot of individuals in different lots. I mean, at this point, I could take Foreman, Morrison, I could take all these guys, and I could make a PSA 9 1991 Kayo heavyweight group. Lennox Lewis, just the heavyweights alone that I've already accumulated, and throw them together all in PSA 9s for, you know, 150, 200 bucks. Very cool. They're already slabbed. Nobody has to do the leg work. Maybe I could take the boxing greats and make another one. There is nothing wrong with PSA 9s. I just prefer, if I'm going to do this much work, I'm submitting myself, I'm going to keep the 10s because I think these are nostalgic. I think they're wonderful. I'm always going to have this video to refer back to. I got my hologram. Holyfield Decisions Foreman. Battle of the Ages hologram. How freaking awesome is that? What a beautiful hologram. I love the hologram cards slabbed. You have to really do some work to rotate them around and see all the shine and the sheen. And oh my goodness. Beautiful, beautiful card to submit. I don't know what the heck. I got a baseball card in here. Weird. Matchmakers. What's a promo company? Oh, I never heard of them. You're no Don King, baby. All right, I want to knock Holmes, and I see him still sticking out here. What was the problem here? The off-centering of Holmes. Okay, this one looks pretty damn perfect. And sometimes you got to submit jerks and put them in your heavyweight package. Here we go with another Roger Mayweather. I think that the reason this is going so high in value is because the name Mayweather, of course. And he's a former champion. I don't know if he's related to Mr. Mayweather, of course, with all of his infinite fame. I would assume, since the value had gone so high, and probably the pop count is so low, that they're asking 2 arms and 1 leg for that card. Of course, the pop count will now go up just a smidgy as I submit 2 or 3 or 4 of them, and I'm sure some of you guys at home are thinking, hell yes, this is much better than buying one $400 PSA 10 card in this box of somebody that you really liked, like Roy Jones Jr. Why not? Wouldn't I get my own box and do the submission? So the pop counts will go up. I don't think the demand. I don't think the pop will ever supersede the demand in most cards. You look at like a 1990 Fleer Michael Jordan PSA 10. I mean, they could, when the dust settles and everybody rips their wax and submits everything, even if there's 10,000 PSA 10s in the world, there's a lot more than 10,000 Michael Jordan fans that are collecting sports cards, right? Here's our 3rd Roy Jones Jr. That is going right in for submission. Wonderful looking card. Good spacing. Centering, I should say. Now, I have not seen an auto, so we probably won't get to one, as this is only one more pack after this. Ray Mercer, Hector Macho Camacho, and then another Sonny Liston. So we're going to submit both of these. We didn't get an Ali. We have not pulled a Tyson, but we did get I think 3 or 4 different Sugar Ray Leonards, which I'm just elated for. That's good enough for me. Got another cuss. Very cool. Another Foreman. Looks pretty clean. Clean centering. All right, I'm winding down here. Hell, I'm getting tired of sitting here at this point. Oh, big old Foreman. Looking like he's going to go grill you something, isn't he? Come on. Just that name alone. How many freaking Foreman grills were so? Everybody had a damn Foreman grill. Now nobody has one. They're just gone. There's another thing taking up landfill space. Nobody uses their Foreman grills anymore. But God, those things were sold by the bazillion. Another Leonard Duran. Another Lewis art card. Now, there may be a ton of these that are open. It doesn't mean anybody ever submitted these for grading. Keep in mind, there could have been a bazillion KOs out there, and people just opened these up and were like, cool. Kind of threw them around, gave them some kids. That's off-centered right to left. Can tell right off the cuff. Not horribly. So, everything else looks good on it. That could be a PSA 9 feasibly. That'll go. Roberto Duran. So I think we've got, this is a hell of a box for $100, you guys. When this is all said and done and the dust settles, and some of the packs we're going to throw out there of some of these legends all together, the Sugar Ray Leonard cards, the hologram card of Foreman Holyfield. I mean, I've got too much to show you here, and literally just what I have to top load still. Just massive amounts of wonderful cards. So I hope you guys see the value in all this, and happy collecting.